Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
What's your reaction to Jim Rutherford's comments yesterday or this week on the situation with you and Petey?
I don't have one.
You don't have any comments?
No.
Is there still all good between you two guys?
I'm not commenting on this.
JT Miller, moments ago,
wow,
after the morning skate in Nashville today, Predators and Canucks tonight. Not saying anything. Unlike Jim Rutherford yesterday and last night.
And he should be he should be being asked about Nashville tonight, Don, not about the president throwing gas on the fire yesterday.
You wouldn't ask that question as a reporter?
I'm saying if the president doesn't do what he did, he doesn't have to answer that.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, I get where you're coming from. All right. Do we have a sponsor for our guest today? Able Auctions, our title sponsor. Now, again, you were ever since you had a tough show like 2 or 3 days ago.
You're just all over us.
Or actually 2 days ago. You're really in a bad mood.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah. All of our guests today, including Brandon Astle, standing by, voice of the Abbotsford Canucks, who are hot, brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca. Abbotsford has won 8 straight games at Coachella Valley tonight. They host the Wranglers of Calgary Friday and Saturday in Abbotsford. Brandon's always in a good mood. He's joining us now. Brandon, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Donnie, Rick, always a pleasure. Judge Judy comes on after your show every day, so just waiting for you guys to be done so I can watch one of my favorite shows.
We had somebody. Is it Hot Bench that's on our program around our station as well? Somebody saying they should get Miller and Pedersen to go on one of those types of shows, and everything will be fine. Hey, is everybody getting along? Are all the players getting along with Abbotsford?
Donnie, it is business as usual. You don't hear a peep down there. The guys just have their heads down, working hard. I mean, we're kind of tucked away in the Fraser Valley, if you will, and the results have been showing. They have no distractions whatsoever. As you mentioned, they're on an 8-game winning streak and hopefully can make it 9 tonight in Palm Springs.
So what are the reasons for all the success with Abbotsford?
I think first things first, they've really settled into Manny Malhotra's structure and systems. They've really found their identity, and no matter after a loss or a win, and you talk to Manny after the game, he always brings up sticking to the process. The team is very process-driven. They practice with a purpose. And the team has really bought in, and it's showing off big time right now. And how about this, Donnie? They've been very streaky since the middle of November, going back to November 19th to be exact. So get this. They won 4 games in a row, lost the next 2, went back on another 4-game winning streak, lost 6 in a row after that, and now have ripped off 8 straight wins again. So they've been keeping the fans on their toes. And another big reason for the success, not just lately, but all year actually, it's been the young prospects that have been getting the job done. And if you guys look around the league and see team stats and the scoring leaders of other teams, usually at the top of the list, first 2-3 guys are older. Maybe they've played in the NHL before, but are now AHLers, maybe on an AHL deal or on 2-way deals. That's very common to see. But for the Abbotsford Canucks, it's the young guys getting the job done. You look at Lekkerimaki, he leads the team in goals. He's only 20. On defense, you got Kirill Kudryavtsev. He's a rookie. He leads the blue line in scoring. The other D, which Vancouver fans are seeing right now, Elias Pettersson, we know what he's done this year. He's going to the All-Star game. Well, he's supposed to go to the All-Star game this weekend, which is also in Palm Springs. But he might have a good excuse that he can't make it because he's in the National Hockey League. He's been that good. Ty Mueller, another rookie that just isn't getting the headlines. He has been awesome. He was leading the team in scoring a few weeks ago before he got hurt. So it's just been a combination of things that's leading to their success right now, and it's just been fun to watch.
Brandon, it's always good for an NHL team when a young guy like Lekkerimaki is leading the team in goals. He's got 14, and I think he's one of the youngest guys in his age group. He's right up there for his age group in the American League. Talk about him going up and down this year. What does he need to do down there to get up to Vancouver full-time?
It's still just finding that consistency, Rick. We know about the offensive game, but when I watch Jonathan play, I'm looking at the other side of the puck, the defensive zone, how he is in his own end, along the boards. Board battles is a big one. He's not the biggest guy, and obviously still being young, still getting stronger. that's something that he's got to find more consistency with. But I've been overall impressed with his defensive play. He's a really smart player. He puts himself in good position to succeed out there. He's someone, obviously, that doesn't need a lot of time or space on the offensive side to put the puck in the back of the net. He really reminds me of someone like Kyle Connor, where he's very good at navigating the ice, whether it's in front of the net, along the boards. And obviously, he's got the one-timer. He just needs like half a second to get that off, and it's in the back of the net. But another thing that's really impressed me is that he's getting to the dirty areas to score. And in 2 of the last 3 games, he has gotten the game winner when the game was tied with under a minute to go. He's done that twice over the last 3 games. And where did he score? In front of the net. Dirty, greasy goals, redirection. So he's done that a bunch this year. And I just like how I've seen the evolution of his game continue. And talking to him a couple times after games, he's really focusing on the defensive side. He's been in the film room with the coaches and staff, with the Sedins, Manny Malhotra, working on it in practice. And we all know you got to be responsible defensively if you want to play for Rick Tocchet. And that's something he's continuing to add to his game each and every day in practice, and it's leading into games.
Brandon, a big one for me down in Abbotsford is how is Artur Silovs playing? Because, look, if they sign Lankinen with term, what does that do to his development? First of all, tell us how he's been playing down there. And second, if they do sign Lankinen, I mean, I don't think he'll be doing cartwheels.
Yeah, he probably won't be super excited about that, but you always got to stay ready, right? You never know. It just takes one quick injury to happen, and next thing you know, you're back in the National. And he's come down to Abbotsford with a great attitude. Obviously, he wants to be in Vancouver, but since being down during this team's win streak, him and Nikita Tolopilo have pretty much been rotating starts, and obviously they're both on some nice winning streaks right now. But Silovs is a quiet guy. He's not going to say much. Obviously, super talented. He's someone that when he's on his game, he's very tough to beat. And it's just a matter of what's going on between his ears, because when you go up and down, that can obviously take a toll on your mental state. And being a goaltender, you got to be locked in all the time. And I know just watching him in practice and talking to his teammates, they've really liked what they've seen from Arturs. And if he gets another opportunity, I would not be surprised if he takes the ball and runs with it, because we know it's there. I mean, going into the offseason, his confidence is riding high after being the starter in the playoffs. We know where his game can get to. He's still young, and sometimes you just need some patience. So I still got all the confidence in the world in Arturs.
Talking with Brandon Astle, voice of the Abbotsford Canucks. We get this a lot, Brandon, over the last couple of months. But Eric Brandstrom doesn't stick with the Canucks. A lot of people that watch our show and listen to our show pretty impressed with what he did at the NHL level. Is he a classic tweener? Somebody who is just so special at the AHL level but can't crack the big club? And I know there was a size issue there as well.
Yeah, he's probably going through a bit of the in-between stuff right now. And obviously, we've seen what he can do at the AHL level. He's gotten at least a point in every game with the Abbotsford Canucks this year. He's got 11 points over his last 7. Really reminds me of Quinn Hughes down there in Abbotsford. When he has that puck, he makes things happen every single time. And talking with him, he knows that he needs to work on his defensive side of the game. It's something that he continues to work at with the coaches in practice, and having someone like Manny Malhotra to learn from, who is a great defensive player, although not a defenseman, but someone that he can really learn from. The offensive game is there. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of finding that consistency when it comes to the defensive zone. And he's going to get a lot of minutes in Abbotsford, and he's definitely someone that's leaned upon offensively on the power play. He's out there when they needed a goal to tie the game, and he's going to get some opportunity to play on the defensive side when they need to maybe lock it down and protect the lead. So you just look at his skill set. He's got so much talent. He can skate. He's a great playmaker. He's almost like a rover out there at times, but at the end of the day, if he gets back to the NHL, the reason he sticks is because his defensive play is better, and that's something that he can kind of just put his head down right now in Abbotsford and really work on the finer details in his game when it comes to that.
Brandon, before we let you go, I have to say this. You compare Jonathan Lekkerimaki to Kyle Connor, and Eric Brandstrom to Quinn Hughes. That's what, and Rick is so negative. This is what Canuck Nation needs. More positivity.
Oh, yeah.
Keep up the good work, Brandon.
Donnie, I was just thinking the other day, I don't remember a time when the cupboards were this stocked with exciting prospects. I mean, what's going on in Abbotsford right now is really special. And I think we're going to see some players move up that aren't just going to be a warm body. They're going to be impact players. And let's just let them marinate a little bit more here in Abbotsford. But I'm excited to see what the future holds for a bunch of these guys.
Okay, I love Max Sisson. Okay, so he very promising young player. I like what he's done at both levels, NHL level. Give us the pronunciation of his name, because Rick and I argue about this all the time.
You know what? I'm glad you asked. So I first heard it was Sasson when he joined the team a couple years ago, so I went with that. And then all of a sudden, I hear him doing like a Canucks promo prospect video, Building Blue, and he pronounced his own name as Sasson.
Oh!
And so I texted him right away saying, like, you absolutely sewered me. I've been calling you Sasson for 2 years, and your name is Sasson. And then he's like, no, it's Sasson. Please continue with that. My family likes it. Please continue with Sasson. And then I hear Shorty call him Sasson, and then they correct him, and now it's Sasson again. So I'm sticking with it. It is Max Sasson going forward.
There you go. Put that in your pipe, Rick.
Hey, I was right there.
Brandon, thanks
Take
for
that,
this. Keep up the good work, my friend, and the positivity. Thank you, Brandon.
No
Appreciate
worries,
it.
boys. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
You bet.